Hello, beautiful people. My name is Rachel, and thanks for stopping by. It's been a very long time since I have made a video. It's been like 3-4 months, I don't really remember. But the reason that has happened is because I have been running a business. And some of you may have already known that if you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, any other social media platform. You have probably seen me post things about it, but I've never really gone into depth about what I'm doing. So today I want to talk a little bit about the business that I ran. So how I ran this business is actually through another company, and they hired me for an internship. So the company is called Young Entrepreneurs Across America, and they hired me to run a business called Student Painters. So the company has been in business for over 30 years. We're in a bunch of different states all across the nation, and there are hundreds of college students just like me who have ran a business like this before. Pretty much how the internship works is I got hired in the fall, and then in December I started doing some preparation for my business, making some posts online to find employees and to kind of get started building up my business. Things really didn't take off until about February, and that's when marketing started. And then a little bit later we started actually doing sales. So since February, every single weekend, I was out marketing for my business, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I was also a full-time student at the time, so my life really got flipped upside down. Not only was I a student, but I was also running this business, and I had never even held a job while being a student. So this was something that was completely new to me. And this summer has definitely been the most challenging time of my entire life. I've never faced so many obstacles and so many things that terrified me more than I have this summer. But this summer has also produced the most growth that I've ever experienced in a small period of time. And I've been so thankful for this internship. And I do highly recommend it. If you ever get the opportunity to take on this internship, do it. You'll probably hate me at some point in the summer for saying that, but at the end of the summer, when everything has finally wrapped up and it all has paid off, you will feel amazing. Also, in this video, I'm gonna be kind of going more into depth than just like daily business things. I really want to be candid with you guys and talk about how I was challenged, like mentally, emotionally. I'm someone who really sees the deeper meaning of things, and if you're someone who hates when people do that, when like everything has like a deeper, bigger meaning, this video is probably not for you. So the reason that I took this internship was, first, someone came to my class and was like talking about it, and they're like, you can make good money in the summer, and I'm like, okay. So that was like what first got my attention, but that is not the reason that I actually took the internship. So setting out and accepting the position, I decided to take this on for a couple reasons. I wanted to learn and grow. I wanted to impact people around me, and I wanted to make connections with my peers and with people in the community. And I definitely can say that I was successful doing that. And so the reason I'm telling you this is because my number one thing was to learn and grow. So every little thing that was happening to me, I was trying to pull something more out of it and saying like, how can this make you better? And because this summer was so challenging, I had so many opportunities to actually do that. And this is probably gonna get a little bit deep later, a lot about like my personal life. I'm not gonna go into details, but just like who I am and the way I feel about things. And so if you don't think this video is for you, then don't watch it. I'll have more videos up. We're gonna have a makeup video up probably next week. But I just want to be open and honest, and hopefully this video can impact someone or maybe help someone make a decision to accept the position that I took. So just a little rundown on the internship, the basics of it all. So pretty much during school, every weekend you had to go out and market. The goal was to get out like 2,000 flyers and then do at least 8 hours of cold calling, which is just where you go into a neighborhood, you knock on the door and you say, hey, let me give you a free estimate. And so that was terrifying. Going up to someone's house that you have no idea who they are, knocking on their door and explaining who you are and why they should trust you to let you come and tell them how much it would cost to paint their house. I don't know if I told y'all that. So the business was, we paint houses. We're an exterior home painting company, so we do painting and staining. And yeah, so that's what I was doing. So that's how the season started. And then I actually had a crew. I started with 8 painters, which was amazing. I was so excited about. And we opened up my business officially in May and started producing then. So that's when we actually started painting houses. And we are wrapping up in 2 days, which will be on August 13th. But once production season started, my life completely changed. I've never lived a life like this before. Pretty much every single day I would go out and get to the job site around 6:30 or 6:45 because my painters would show up at 7 and we would get started. So I didn't paint. Like, I have a crew to do that for me. So while they were painting, I was out marketing, making sales, taking care of everything else that goes into running a business. And my days were so long. A lot of nights I wouldn't get home until about 9 o'clock. So I was working over 12-hour days, about 6 to 7 days a week, and it was crazy. And I did struggle with it. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, it was easy, it was a breeze, because it wasn't. But you might be wondering, like, why was it so challenging? What was so hard about it, other than the fact that you worked really long days? Every single day you are engaging with tons of different people. You have a huge to-do list. You have people you have to call back. You have new people you need to get in contact with. There's just so many things that go into it, and you always have to be on your A game. You always have to remember things about people, and you can't lose information. Like, you have to be so organized. And I don't want to go into details because we'd be here forever and I'm sure you really don't care. But things happen. Like, painting is not perfect, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that my painters did 100% good job on every single job that we did, because that did not happen. We did have tons of super happy customers, and overall, like, I ran a really good business and had a really good crew. There were a couple jobs, mistakes were made, and sometimes people aren't that nice, and even the tiniest flaws will make them lose their mind. And so I had to deal with that, and it was terrifying. The first job that we kind of messed up on and I had to deal with the customer, I was terrified. And it's over with now. Everything is said and done. We handled the situation, but it was terrifying. When it happened, I was so scared. And I do struggle a little bit with anxiety, and I'm a perfectionist. And so when something is not done right, it kind of makes me lose my mind. So this summer was really, about admitting that things aren't always perfect and that you are going to mess up. And when you do mess up, you have to accept that and you have to admit to it. Also, this internship really made me realize my self-worth. That's something that I have kind of struggled with for a very long time. I have let myself be in so many different relationships, whether those be platonic or romantic, and I just feel like I've never been enough for anyone, which, like, I don't want sympathy, like, I'm just trying to say this because I know that a lot of people relate to it, and it's really exciting that, I'm kind of seeing myself in a different light now. But there were times throughout the summer, throughout the spring, where I did not know if I was cut out for this, and I was really down on myself, and I thought, never gonna make it, never gonna be able to do this. So my goal was to run an $85,000 business, and I actually ended up running a little over a $92,000 business, which is super exciting. And there were times I thought I was going to run out of work and I thought my business was going to fail. When I got around 50,000, I think I lost a couple sales. I lost a couple sales sometime during the summer. Someone literally pulled it like 2 days before because he went with another company, and it was crazy. But there were times I called my mentor crying because I was about to run out of work. And I felt like a failure. I was so stressed about everything, and I called my mom crying, and I was like, I don't think my business is gonna make it. Like, I'm losing sales instead of making them. I'm gonna run out of work, and then my crew's gonna leave me. And looking back now, like, so dramatic. But I'm crying, and I'm like, I'm just tired of disappointing everyone around me. Because that's how I felt. Like, I felt like I was disappointing everyone, and I was like, it's gonna be so embarrassing to tell everyone that I couldn't fulfill what I had said I was going to. And my mom was like, Rachel, the only person that you're disappointing is yourself. And that's kind of when I realized how hard I am on myself. Like I said earlier, I'm a perfectionist, and if things aren't perfect, then I think like I'm a failure, like I'm the worst. And that's kind of when things really started to change for me. And then like a week or so ago, I was having a Google Hangout with my mentor and then our boss, and we were talking about my potential future with the company. I might be coming back next year, I'm not really sure yet, but we were talking about if I had a team of my own, so I would be mentoring people who are in the same position that I'm in right now. And he was like, you know, you're not gonna have a team of 5 Rachels. Like, that would be ideal, but you're not. He was like, if you have a team with one person who's half a Rachel, that would be awesome. And just knowing that like someone thinks that like even a fraction of me would be good enough was insane, because I feel like whole life, all these toxic relationships that I've mentioned that I've been in, I felt like all of me was never enough for anyone. And so just knowing, like, even though that's a different setting, like that's a job, but just knowing that like part of me was finally good enough for something felt amazing, and made me realize that like the people who have made me feel not good enough aren't worth it, and maybe that's not on me. I mean, I'm not perfect, and I've been in plenty of relationships where I've done things that weren't right and weren't good, but I do think that overall I always give things 110%. And like I have a kind heart. Like I've never done anything to be malicious to someone, and it's really weird. Like if you're still watching this video, I'm sure that it's really weird that I'm talking about this right now, because I'm sure you thought you were just going to be watching a video about me talking about painting houses. But here I am talking about my self-worth, which is really weird. But the reason I'm doing this is because I just want everyone to know, like, if you feel like you're not good enough, that you are more than good enough, and every person who has made you feel that way, they are not worth it whatsoever. And I hope you realize that if you think you're not good at anything, because I've always thought I was not good at anything, but I was actually good at this. There are things out there that you are amazing at, and just like you being you is enough. And that's all you need to know, is that people who make you feel less than aren't people that should be in your lives. And there are things out there that will make you realize who you are and what your worth is, and I want you to know, like, it's so much. So yeah. Sorry, I told you guys this would get deep. But that's pretty much what I did this summer. So I did finish out with 5 painters. I had a couple of marketers at times. I was usually managing about 5 to 8 people, and we did $92,000 in work. We were painting houses all summer long. It was insane. It's gonna be weird not having something to do every second of the day, and I know it's gonna be a big adjustment, and so I'm just gonna try and keep myself busy. I really want to write a book. That's something that I've always wanted to do, and it's on my bucket list, and running a business was also on my bucket list. I never thought I'd do that at 20 years old, but here I am. So yeah, I've always wanted to write a book. I used to write short stories and work on books all the time when I was younger, and I think I'm gonna do it. So you never know what might be coming for me. And yeah, so that's kind of what running a business has brought out of me. And you might talk to another branch manager who ran a business, and they might just be like, yeah, it was a cool experience, like it was a lot of hard work. And they might just give you the surface level things, and so you might think I'm insane for being like, I learned about myself from this business. Like, I learned like my self-worth. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you're not pulling those things out of your life experiences, then how are you growing? Like, you should, in your everyday life, be trying to learn from everything that happens and trying to build yourself up. So that's exactly what I did this summer, and I know some people think it's ridiculous, but I don't want to live my life any other way. So if you guys want to know more about this business, like if you are someone who's watching this because you were looking into taking the internship of running student painters, then feel free to comment or DM me or reach out to me in any way. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Rachel Dorsey _, and I'll put that down below. And please ask me questions. If any of you just want to know more, reach out to me. Also, just let me know what you thought of this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also leave a comment down below. And I'm going to be going back to more regular videos, and I'll hopefully have a makeup one up soon. This is pretty much all I have to say. I hope that, you know, this maybe inspired you in some way or has helped you make a decision about maybe taking this internship or taking another one or a job, anything. If something, you know, kind of scares you because it's going to challenge you, I urge you to take it. Whenever I heard about this, I was like, that's insane. I will never be able to do that. But I did it and I was successful, and it's such a great feeling knowing that when you just believe in yourself and you give it your all, you can pretty much do anything that you want. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Kind of get some groundwork in. No, that doesn't make sense.